Persons with disabilities who are infected with HIV and AIDS, they have a lot of challenges right away from home. They are double stigmatized. First, they are disabled. Secondly, they're infected with HIV and AIDS. That person will fear even to mention that I feel like I'm HIV positive, because he or she will be abandoned by the family members. Because the family members themselves are not sensitized on disability and HIV. Whether you are from a rich family, whether you are from a poor family, whether you are from whatever type of family, once you are HIV positive, you'll be abandoned. Many people in the African culture, they think that if you are disabled, you are not supposed to have sex, probably you are not supposed to get married. But then people use that chance when they think that persons with disabilities don't have high rate of HIV or don't have HIV at all. So you find these people going for women with disabilities but don't have permanent love, but they go there to satisfy their sexual needs. Sometimes, because of the myth, they have an assumption that if you are disabled and someone is HIV positive, that by sleeping with a woman with disability, the HIV will get cured.
We have just marked 25 years of fight against HIV/AIDS this month. And Uganda has been one of the first African countries to come out openly to fight against HIV/AIDS. And we have received quite a remarkable result out of the war. If Uganda did not come out openly, many people would have perished. There is quite a lot of efforts being made, both at national and local level, to fight against HIV/AIDS. And Uganda has done quite a lot. There are many NGOs, there are many partners really helping Uganda to fight against HIV/AIDS. The government is committed. But even so, persons with disability are normally left out in many programs of HIV/AIDS. Take, for example, the issue of voluntary counseling and testing, which is very important for a person to know his or her health status. You find that when the exercise is being done, disabled people don't know. And nobody makes any effort to mobilize them.
When you look at the deaf, first of all, the deaf don't want to go with their interpreters. They fear the interpreters to disclose their self status. And where they go, many medical workers don't know sign language. Then the blind, they are poor. They cannot afford sometimes someone to guide them to the hospitals to seek for medication. It's a very big challenge. These are people sometimes they are not rehabilitated on how to use like white canes. Others don't know what a white cane is. The physically disabled. Mobility is a very big problem. Most of the services where are found are very far. Sometimes you find the services are upstairs, whereby they cannot manage even to climb the stairs. Some places don't have ramps, even if someone is on a wheelchair. So others who can manage, they just crawl. Then we have another category of disabled, who got disabilities as a result of HIV and AIDS. These people are infected by the HIV virus. They have no information on disability or DPOs existing in Uganda. You talk of sign language, they have never heard of it. Talk of white cane, they have never heard what a white cane is. Talk of mobility appliances, they don't know.
I want to be a witness that Uganda has very good laws to protect the rights of persons with disability. We have the Person with Disability Act 2006, which talks about the rights, protection of rights of persons with disability in all fields, education, health, everywhere. But this law is not being implemented. And persons with disability themselves do not know much about the law. Many of the service providers are not aware of these laws, and they think it is a favor to do that to a person with disability. And this is not good at all. We are very happy with NUDIPO in their partnership with DSI. They have implemented a pilot project on HIV/AIDS. It has a very big impact. Uganda AIDS Commission, for example, has come to learn more about the needs of disabled persons in relationship to HIV/AIDS. And many government institutions and service providers confessed, oh, we did not know.
This project came up as a result of a number of studies, researches done by NUDIPO and other disabled people's organizations trying to find out how involved, how effective are the current national programs as far as targeting persons with disabilities, on one hand, and two, making sure that their issues and needs are appreciated at national level.
Yes, coming.
So we got into partnership with the DPOD, with a number of other disabled people's organizations, and we came up with this project, which is currently funded by DANIDA through DPOD. The purpose of the project, I would say very briefly, is twofold. One, to raise awareness about issues of disability and HIV/AIDS information amongst persons with disability. And then on the other hand, to try and focus on the HIV/AIDS service providers themselves and try to make sure they understand the needs and issues for persons with disability. Now it is like you put it in a framework of demand and supply. Raise the awareness for disabled persons to increase their demand for the services, and make the service providers conscious about the issues and needs of persons with disabilities so that they are able to appropriately supply the services. Now, once we make those two ends meet, then basically we shall say that now persons with disabilities are able to also be focused and get services that are implied in relation to HIV and AIDS. I think and I believe it's not about more hospitals. It's not about specialized services for persons with disabilities. It's about ensuring that there is equitable access to services. And by equitable access, we basically imply that if a person with disability goes to a service utility, are the service providers accessible? Would they realize that when a deaf person came for a service, there is need for an interpreter? Would they realize that if they are giving ARVs to a blind person, and remember ARVs are normally many, and they give them like for a month or so, how are they going to explain in order to have adherence to the drug in respect to the blind person? If you are going to supply, for instance, say, condoms, how are you going to explain the use of those condoms? So it is a whole big package. And once we have all those small issues in place, that the hospitals are accessible, that the information is packaged in a way that everybody else with their varying abilities are able to access that information, and that they are specifically targeted, then we shall say we have got there.
Yes, it's negative because there is one line, the control line.
Okay.
On patient's line, there is no line.
So no need
it's
for
negative.
CD4.
Yeah. No need for CD4 and no need for confirmatory. Yeah.
Tata waabwe y'omu.
In Uganda today, as far as HIV and disability is concerned, it is TASO, NUDIPU, and Uganda AIDS Commission, which have tried to come on board and support persons with disabilities living with HIV and AIDS. No one else at the moment.
Of course, it is the responsibility of the state to ensure that the population, the citizens, live healthy life. But this is a developing country. The state is handicapped with resources. And we appreciate what the NGOs are doing, both in the field of HIV/AIDS and in other sectors of development. And I believe, as I told you, in 2 years' time, we shall have good success stories on good practices, on service provided to persons with disability on HIV/AIDS.